Hi everyone. Hold on, I hear an echo. Hi everyone. Oh my gosh. All right. Hi, hello. Happy Thursday. I'm excited to be here. I've got some fun summertime cards to show you tonight. They're pretty easy, very colorful, and just a lot of fun for those summer birthdays in your life. And we are also going to be making these same cards at my class on Saturday. And so if you're coming to the class, you can use this as a little sneak peek to what you'll be making. All right, let me flip the camera down. There we go. All right. If you're new to my channel, you can sign up for my newsletter here, this QR code, or go to backyardstamper.com and sign up there. If you have any questions about tonight, please email me, Kathy@backyardstamper.com. And if you like anything that I'm showing you and would like to purchase it, you can visit my Stampin' Up store, kathyschmitt.stampinup.net. And I will tell you that just a couple housekeeping things. The special for 25% off your first paper pumpkin kit is you only have a couple more days. So this is when you sign up for your pay-as-you-go subscription by August 10th, then you will get 25% off your first kit. So it's a great way to try it out and see if it's something you might want to do. And as an added bonus to my subscribers and my friend Debbie's subscribers, we host a Zoom class every month for our Paper Pumpkin subscribers, and we teach the alternates. So I love that. And Debbie and we have a great time, and our style is very different from each other. So you really get some fun cards. I'm just turning to a page here. So one of the cards that we're going to be making tonight features, hold on, I forgot. It will feature the bundle here for Sunset Coast. Let me see what else, if they're in here. I'm not going to do it that way, you guys, because that will just slow us down, and we don't want to be slowed down by anything, right? We want to get crafting. My dad said I can't be on for more than 2 hours, like I'm ever on for 2 hours, right? Hi, Mom and Dad. I know you're watching. Just want to say hi. Okay, let me show you the cards we're going to be making tonight. We are going to be making this fun card, this beautiful summer flower card. This one is fun in the sun with lots of shimmer. And then look at this beautiful sunset sail birthday card. That is perfect for the men in your life, right? Or women. But I'm thinking this will be great for my brother's birthday that's coming up this week. Okay, we're going to start with this one, and hopefully we move right along. You know, you never know with my craft lunches and everything else that happens when we're filming. And let me just say a quick hi. Hi, Susie, and Debbie is here. And I see Becky and Cindy. Hello, hello, my friends. And my mom and dad are watching. So I love that. Okay. So to make this card, we're going to use something called Summer Happiness Washi Tape. This is so fun to use. And so what I did was I pretty much have this measured, this piece of paper measured to just about what it would be on the roll, okay? So if it's 3 and hold on, 3/4, I believe. Yes, nope, 3 1/2, sorry. Okay, 3.5. So if I want to just roll this paper out, I find it easier to, let's see, how do I want to do it? I'll do it like this. I'm just using my adhesive mats so that, because this tape is sticky, really sticky. So I'm just going to start it here, and I'm going to try to make sure that the first part is on straight to the sides. And then I'm just going to roll it down, smoothing it out. And so when I cut this in half lengthwise, it's going to have enough for 2 of these bases of cards. And so by using the silicone mat, you don't have to worry about sticking to your paper. Ask me how I know. That's part of the fun when I give you tips and tricks. That usually means I've done something that you probably don't want to do. All right, now I'm just gonna trim this up a little bit. I'm turning it over, and I'm just gonna snip off the hanging off piece of washi tape. Hey, Anne. My mom and dad are here too, Anne. That's my friend Anne from Burlington, Vermont, Dad and Mom. They're in their apartment and they're saying hi to us out loud. I know they are. So just so you wonder why they never say hi. They are talking. They just don't have the commenting down yet. All right, so I'm just gonna flip this over, and I'm just trimming that little bit of an overhang off, like so. That looks good. Oh, look, Ann said hi, Mom and Dad. And Becky did too, Mom. All right, so let me get this out of the way and bring my trimmer in, because it's 4 3/4, I believe. Yes, 4 3/4. Isn't that fun? And so by putting it on the white, now I can die cut all these pieces, because this bundle has all the dies to cut out all these extra pieces. So you can just make a whole bunch of doodads by mounting it on the piece of basic white, and then have at it with your cut and emboss machine. And I will do that sometime. I think this will be great to use for scrapbooking, because all these little doodads would be great as page accents and stuff. So, okay. Yeah, that spell check, huh, Ann? Forces you to spell names wrong. All right, so now what we're going to do is, the other tip I wanted to show you on this is using adhesive sheets. So there's a little part on this card here, the little strap for the sandals. That's really skinny. It's hard to get glue on just that little bit. So what I did is I took my piece of Pool Party and I'm applying some adhesive to it, adhesive sheet. So they come in a package of 12, and they're 12 inches by 6 inches. And they have these lines. You can kind of see where the line is. Those are like peel off part of the sticker lines. So here's my tip. Don't cut this way where there's no lines, because then it's pretty hard to peel it off. But so I needed 1 inch, so I wanted to cut this way so that I have my little peel off. These just come off just like stickers. It's actually making a sticker page. See what I mean? And then one more. Just like so. So now I've got an adhesive sheet on the back of my little piece, so when I go to die cut my strap of my flip-flop, it won't be in the way. Got a little bit of adhesive on my paper. Okay, so let me get my little mini emboss. Tonight's projects, I think I used the mini emboss for the whole thing. And that's fun. I sometimes forget about this little guy. All right, so I have my piece with the sticky strip, or adhesive sheet on it. It is sticky and it's a strip, so pardon that. And I'm going to, I've got my base plate, my cutting plate, my paper, and my die, and then my top plate. And I'm just going to crank it through. And I'm going to come back. There. Just like so. We'll put that right over here. See, this little guy folds up so tiny, and it's perfect for sitting on your desk. But not all of our dies and very few of the embossing folders fit in there, to full disclosure, right? So now I'll put this strip back in to my scrap pile of ones that have adhesive sheets on them. Because, you know, us crafters, we hoard everything, including our scraps. Okay, so now I have my strap, and let me get my envelope of supplies. So I have my little straps here all ready to go. I have my piece of washi on my cardstock. Let's see what else I've got in my envelope. I got a piece of Melon Mambo, and this is 5.5 by 8.5, and you just fold it at 4 1/4 and burnish. And then I have a piece of Pool Party, and this is 5 by 3 3/4, and I'm just going to apply that. See, I even wrote it on the back, 5 by 3 3/4. Okay, then my piece of washi tape goes on. My washi tape that's on my basic white. And did I not get that on straight? You know, my card is not straight. Let me see if I can force that to be straight. And then I can totally see where my Pool Party is not on straight. But here's another tip. Don't overdo your adhesive, because if you have to lift it, you can lift it pretty easily if you don't overdo the adhesive. Especially when you're using the tape, less so when you're using the glue, because the glue does bond pretty quickly. All right, so I've got a wider border on the outside and then a narrower border on the inside. Isn't that fun? All right, so this is going to be my piece for the inside. And I've got 2 flip-flops here. And I just need a scrap of white to do my greeting. I'm using the rectangle punch, the rounded corner rectangle punch. I love that one because it's right there. So this is just a scrap from my bin, and ooh, it fits perfectly. So I'm gonna just punch that out. See, now I can feel good about throwing that away. All right, so we've got our flip-flops and now let's take the sticker part off. So you take your pick tool, and I just kind of like come back a little bit. See how it lifted right up? See that? And when that happens, you can just peel the rest off and put it right on your sandal. The placement doesn't matter overly much. Let me just grab my tweezers. I had some little baby tweezers, but I don't know what happened to them. So let me just see if I can move that. Okay, so then I'm going to, I think that's the wrong strap. Yes, see, that's why it wasn't fitting right. So if it looks funny, it's probably in the wrong spot. So I've got one side done, and then we got to peel this off. So right at the top, I just kind of roll my pokey part across it. See? It lifts just fine and dandy. And here's my strap. So the strap was a little bit wider on one side of the foot. So now I have these, and I'm going to just put my Wink of Stella on the strap, just to give it a little something something. Just like that. That looks fun. Okay, so I've got these, and I already punched my sun. I stamped this with Darling Duckling. So we're cranking right along. I've got my tag already, so I'm going to bring in the Fun in the Sun stamp and my Melon Mambo. Who else loves using washi tape? Because these big rolls of washi tape, they are fun. Fun in the sun. Okay, and then on the inside, I want to put Summer Adventures. Let me show you that. So it's Summer Happiness is a stamp set, and you get all these nice stamps. This word is pretty large, so you can use it for scrapbooking too. And then you got some nice sentiments. And then you've got all these dies. So it's so much fun. All right, we're going to put Summer Adventures right there. All right, and then the last thing we need to do is stamp with, I'm going to use Coastal Cabana. It's really close to Pool Party, so here's the difference. This is Coastal Cabana, and this is Pool Party, so it's very close. Like, it looks like the inside of the flower is Pool Party, but the outline might be Coastal Cabana. And I'm gonna bring in my big sunglasses. Oh, Cindy, I think you're gonna love it. Isn't that fun? Woo! And let's tape that right inside our card. Let me shut the ink up. We don't want any issues. So all right, here's my card. My inside of my card is done, and I'm gonna do a little bit of Wink of Stella on that because I can, right? All right, there's that. And my Wink of Stella is right here, so I'm gonna just do my lenses. Fun. So you can see that? So fun. Okay, and then we've got our tag. We got to get our dimensionals out. And I'm going to put 4 on here to make sure it's supported. Actually 5. I'm going to do one in the middle. It's probably too many, but you know what I say is no sagging allowed. Okay. So I've got my fun in the sun. I'm going to just put that kind of in the middle. Hello, Stephanie. Glad to see you could make it. And then for this sun piece, I'm going to put my dimensional out here. Kind of lift that corner up. And that way I know right where it goes. Like so. It looks like a lollipop, doesn't it? And then for here, I'm going to put a big dimensional and I'm going to cut one in half. So the front of my flip-flop has a dimensional and so does the heel. There. So fun. Alrighty, just like so. And then the little thing that adds a little surprise to it are these gems. These are in color dots, the 2026, 2028, and you can use anything that your heart desires on these. So I am going to just put a pink one right there and right there. Now my sandals have a little dress up, and then I have these in color dots that have the Darling Duckling. These are the 25 to 27 dots, and I am just going to put a couple around on the outside here. Let's see. We'll do like 2 and maybe 1 more up there. There. Here's my card. And I just want to wink Estella the sun too. Isn't it fun? All right. There's nothing better than a brand new Wink Estella with all its pretty sparkle. There we go. So here's card number 1. See, the sun is all sparkled too, and my sandals. And then you've got Summer Adventures with more sparkle inside. So pretty good. And see, not too hard at all. Let me just put this stuff away because I'm loading my box as for what we're gonna use on the weekend. So let me just leave this card here. And so these are the kind of boxes I use at my card classes, and then I just set it in the middle of the table, and people will I take all the stamps out, but I'll have the punch, and these here, my die pieces, I keep up at the counter with my die cutting machine so they don't get lost. And it goes really smoothly. So card number 1 is done. All right, let's see what card number 2 is going to be. Where's my card symbols? All right, now I showed you what the cards look like, and now where did the samples go? Oh, I got them. Okay, so card number 2 looks like this. Isn't that great? And on the inside it says, wishing you a lifetime of joy. So this is going to be card number 2. I'm going to put it right there. And let me move this out of the way too. We'll see what our supplies are for this. So this one uses Sunset Coast, and it's got fantastic dies, and we've used the lighthouse one before, and I've used the fishing net and the shells. Now we're going to use the sailboat. And then I've got Wishing You a Lifetime of Joy. And I didn't want these sayings, so I picked the Happy Birthday from Garden Gatherings. I wanted something straight and kind of similar font. So that's where that came from. And let's get out our stuff here. Whoops, almost dumped it, guys. Almost. Let's see here. Kind of on the edge here. All right. Just needed to adjust some of the weight so that it was not hanging off the table. So Sunset Coast, I know this was out of stock for a little while, but it is back. And the 6x6 paper that goes with this is also back in stock. But even if you don't get the paper, you can make your own sunsets. We're going to make our own tonight. We're not even using the designer paper that goes with this. So let's see. I've got mini dimensionals. I have got some pieces. These two need to be die cut. Okay. So I've got pecan pie, 5.5 by 8.5, and I scored it at 4 1/4. Fold it up and burnish it. This piece is from Country Woods. Now, Stampin' Up! Is having a sale right now. It's through the month of August, but please don't wait because you will be sad. This paper is on sale. It's 15% off, so you can also use your stamping rewards on top of that, and you also get stamping rewards from the purchase. So this is a fantastic paper pack. It had planks and blues and plank board looking things. It was really a good one. So don't miss out. And like it's a sale of designer paper and cardstock. And so you can pick up your 12 by 12 or 8.5 by 11 cardstock on sale, which is always a good thing, right? All right, that piece was 5 1/4 by 4. This piece of Misty Moonlight is 4.5 by 3 1/4. That's going to get taped down. I'm just assembling what I can to get kind of clear the deck here. So I've got that ready, and this is going to go here. We have to do our stamping. This is my inside piece, and that has to be stamped too. Okay, let's do some die cutting. I got my little mini glue dots, and I'm going to show you what's perfect to use for those. So let me bring in my little baby boss. And I've got some seagulls. Each pass makes 3 seagulls. So it leaves you enough that you can put 2 on the outside or 3, 2 on the outside, or 1 on the outside and 2 in the inside, whatever you want to do. Okay, so let me just move that down a little, and I'm going to put this one on. You know what? I'm not going to do that. Hold on. I don't want to cut into this. So let's just do it the right way, guys. Trying to rush. I hear my dad saying, 2 hours, 2 hours. Just kidding, Dad. All right, so I went in and back out. And the reason I come back, honestly, is just because it's easier when the plates are right next to me. It's not because you have to roll it both ways. So there's my bird die. Came out really good. Nice and clean. Throw that back in my bin. And then if they're stuck to the plate, you just use your little, take your pick tool and give them a nudge. Like so. And then I've got this. Now, it looks kind of funny, but I only want the sailboat. So that's why I'm not going to use a whole big piece, because I only want the sailboat. So see, the paper is right under the sailboat, and you know, I don't care about the outside there. Whoops, it shifted a little. Make sure it's all going to be on the cardstock. That looks good. Here we go. In and back out. All right, let's see what we've got. So this circle is a little deceiving because I don't know, it's just weird that when you die cut it and all these big pieces fall away, but they make good scraps. When we did another card with it, I used these pieces here to punch the birds out of. So, and then you can just bang it on your desk or poke it to get all the little bits and bobs out. There. So that the next time I go to use it, my die is clean. All right, so here's my piece, and I'm just going to trim off this leftover so I have a smaller piece to work with. And now I'm going to look at my boat. These pieces here are going to punch out, okay? And I'm going to cut right, this is actually part of the wave. And you've got this slit. So that's where I'm going to cut. I'm going to just snip from the outside edge to where it's already got a little slit. Turn it around and come in the other way. Just like that. See? And then you have a sailboat. Isn't that cute? And then to get the different color, I am going to use my blends. I think I might use a different marker. Let me look at something really quick here. I'm going to see what it looks like with, let me do it on a test piece of that paper. I just threw it in the trash, so I want to, oh, I got a piece right here. The reason, this might be a smaller tip than the other. Oh yeah, okay. I just wanted to make sure it doesn't bleed. And this one does tend to bleed a little bit into the cardstock. So I'm just going to go ahead and color my wood with the pecan pie marker. And I'm going to leave the sail plain. That is basic beige. See, that little tip makes it easy to get. The blends has a little chisel tip too, or a bullet tip, but it's just enough that it could give you a little problem. So when you pick it up, you can see if you've missed anything. Just going to go over like that. Doesn't that look great? Okay, so this is coming together really good. Let's put that up there. Now we've got to do our water. And this is so neat. Now when it comes out, it was really dark. It was like Night of Navy dark. And I thought, wow, but it dried lighter, so I'm going to keep it the dark to just prove that it does lighten up. And I'm going to base my water here in the middle. So the top, the horizon line is going to kind of come towards the middle of the card. Okay, so I've got that. There's my water. See how dark that is? But look at the difference when it dried. See the two color differences? So don't worry about it being dark. It'll be fine. While I have the ink pad out, let's go ahead and stamp a little greeting. This does not belong here. I'm like, why is that there? Okay, so I've got my little scrap bin of strips, and I want kind of a skinny one. So, like so. That might be too skinny, but we'll see. Sometimes it's hard on the skinny ones to get them straight, believe it or not. Okay, happy birthday. Happy birthday. Oh, perfect. Okay, and then the last thing I want to stamp is my inside. And I'm going to do that with the same color, Misty Moonlight. Oh, I love this color. Wishing you a lifetime of joy. There. All right. So we've got our stamping done. That was pretty easy. Almost done. There's one more thing to stamp, but let's look at what we've got to do. So first you're going to take a piece of Post-it note. Put that up here. Hey, Christina. Thanks for jumping on. And you're going to put your Post-it note right at the very tip of the blue. So I can barely see that blue. See, I can barely see. So basically I know my water starts and stops right there. Okay, and that's what I wanted to go with. I'm going to take my Golden Glow and my blending brush, and let's use this one here so that try to keep one clean, right? And I'm just going to come up from the paper and kind of go up with it. See? Just like that. Before you take the paper off, though, you want to stamp your sun. And in my sample, I got it a little high. I'm going to lower my sun, and maybe I will just go a smudge darker, or a smidge darker here. Yeah, I like that because now it's real light at the top and darker. Okay, so I've got my sun, and I'm going to drop it. It's really sinking in the water now. Whee! Isn't that fun? And then bring your yellow, and I am just tapping it. I'm not smudging it because I don't want green. I'm just adding a little glow to the water so the reflection of the sun is coming back. So that is a fun technique that I hope you'll give a try. Let's go ahead and assemble this card here. It comes together pretty quickly, guys. Okay, I got that on. I'm going to dimensional this, and I need my babies for that. Put a baby there. And a baby, whoops. And one here. And I'm going to put one more right there. And then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut one in half and put at the bottom. So I'm just going to cut one of these from the outside edge, a skinny piece, so that when it's on the water, the bottom of the boat doesn't sink down. That wouldn't be good, would it? I've never been, well, I guess I have been on a sailboat, but not what you'd call fancy sailing, just a little here and there around Cape Cod, the harbor. Isn't that great? It looks so good. Okay, now I need my bird. Here's a tip for the bird. I ended up with a lot of glue when I went to go put a dot of glue. So use your glue mat instead. And even if you have, like, that would be too much glue for my bird. So let's see here. This is my front. And so I'm picking it up with my take your pick, and I'm just going to rub it onto that glue. And then we'll put it right there. Right there. And we've got our words. And I'm going to snip that down just a smidge. I don't want them super small, but I don't want it super long either. And then let me switch to my bigger dimensionals for the words. It barely fits there. And we'll do one more. Okay, this card is just about done, guys. All right, and so then I've got my happy birthday, just like so. And let me put this on the inside, get rid of that. Okay, now I want to add this trinket. So this is where those little glue dots come in handy. So you take a trinket, take your pick tool, and I'm just putting the glue dot right there, right on the paper. Then use the tip to just kind of push off the cover to it, or your fingernail. There it goes. And then I'm going to, here's my linen thread. So I couldn't find the end today. I spent probably 5 minutes looking for the end, and I ended up having to cut an end. So now I've got this mess at the end of my roll. Very frustrating. A lot worse things in life, right, than having a messed up linen thread roll. But it's just annoying because when they come off the roll, they're so nice. I do have an empty roll. I could spend my time and rewrap it. That sounds like a blast, doesn't it? No. Okay, so there's not a front and a back to these trinkets. They both look the same, I believe. So I threaded it through the little hole, and I'm just tying my bow. Pull my loop so it behaves a little better than that. There. And then remember my glue dot is right there. So I'm just going to press that right on top of it. And that is card number 2. Isn't that beautiful? I don't even think it needs a Wink of Stella. I was like, maybe, but it's like, I'm afraid I'm going to wreck it. By smudging that yellow and green. You could put the mast, but it's a guy's card. They don't need sparkle, right? They just need love. Okay, so let's put this away. my Misty Moonlight away, and my markers, and this stamp, and we will do the last card. I saved the best for last. Although I think these cards are pretty darn awesome. Okay, and my Post-it. All right. So this, my box overfloweth, and I probably don't even need half of what's in here. So I am using up some retired gems. This is the card we're going to make. Wishing you all the best. I have a ton of this delightful wishes paper left. Hope all things wonderful are headed your way. So that could be anniversary or a wedding. Could be anything, really. All right, so let me just see what I got. This is using Gallery Blooms. When I last checked, this was still on the retired list. They just did a retired last chance refresh, so they may have bumped it off. I'm not sure, but the stamp set and the dies were still available. And the same with the stamp set Delightful Wishes, where I got this wishing you all the best. And these, I used the dies more than the, actually I didn't use the dies on that, I used the Gallery Blooms. Okay, so now I've got, and this is that paper, Floral Delight. I love this paper. It's so fun with all the yellow. Just makes me smile. This is screaming summer and spring. I think this one is retired though. Okay, so let me grab my, I'm using the stamp positioner tonight for this card. And I will show you why. I can get all these little extra pieces that I just wanted to show you out of the way. So here's my stamp positioner. All right. And that is not the one I wanted to use. I want to show you this one. Okay. So I have two positioners. All right. So these positioners come with magnets. And they really, really work well. So it comes with two magnets like that. And what I'm going to do is I am going to, what am I doing here? Yes, I can do it like that. So I didn't measure, I'm just winging. So what I might do, see if they snap together like that, it gives you these little handles you can use. All right, let me see if that lines up. Almost. Let me slide it over a little bit because I'm going to mark it now on the grid paper. So my people in the class don't need to worry if they've got their paper in the right place. All right, that looks good. Let me just wait one moment while I mark this. Like so. So as long as they put their paper so that it fits in that little corner, they will be fine. All right, this is going to get stamped with Memento. Okay, and you just make sure your magnets aren't in the way. Okay, set it down, the holes go there, and you just press down. It's really easy. I think it's actually easier than the Stamparatus was. Okay, so there's that. And then, let me show you. Clean that off. All right, here's my envelope of stuff that we need. Oh, I stamped that. I stamped it to show you, but I already had one stamped. There you go. And I already have one colored. Isn't that great? All right, let me put these away because those will be just extras for my class. And I also die cut that piece. So let me just see, is there anything else in here? I love it when I forget that I did something like that. And it's right there. Okay, so let me move this out of the way. I do need this piece. And I need this stamping positioner. Okay. So now let's see here. I've got my card base. This one is 4 1/4 by 11. Okay. And then I've got, let's build our card just like we did the others so we can get all these little pieces out of the way. So I've got this beautiful yellow paper. Oh, that makes me smile. And I have a lot of smiles because I have about 5 packs of this paper. So I am smiling away with all this yellow. There. And then I used Old Olive and Basic White, and I used the branching out dies for that. Before we tape that on, I want to just give the background a little glow. Sorry, trying to get something that was underneath. Okay, here's my pool party. And I am just going to, and here's the tip, if you don't want to get your paper dirty, you can just dab it off in there. And I'm going to just lightly, ever so lightly, because I don't want this blue to overpower, and then you can wipe it up, see, and you get, so, like so. And I don't know how I ended up getting that big smudge in the middle like that, but we're going to hide that. All right, so this is going to be my top here. There. Just enough to give it a little something. All right, and this is a current product, Sending Salutations. It's an awesome stamp set, and I'm going to use, I hope all things wonderful are headed your way, for wishing you all the best. So that way they can use it for anniversary, wedding, whatever. Okay. New job, whatever. Right. So I have to remember that I am going to need to cover that spot. That is a big, giant fingerprint. Bah. But it's okay. See, now some people would say, nope, I got to start over. Not me. I am going to find a way to cover that up. I really don't like to waste paper, and I also don't want to waste my effort. I've already die cut it and everything. I don't want to have to repeat all that for a fingerprint that I can hide. All right, so I put that on dimensionals, and I'm going to just center that right on my card. So there's my card front. This is a piece for the inside. I have a banner for my saying. I have an extra in case I mess up. And then I've die cut this piece here. So let's see, how are we going to stamp that? Believe me, it's a little tricky, right? So I made myself a little stencil. So I am going to put this right back inside there, just like that. Fit it right back in where it goes. Oh, I'm trying to, that's marker there where I misstamped. All right, and then let's get my memento. Okay, and here we go. Same thing. There's little holes here, right there, and they hook into here. And I am going to just put it just like that. And hope for the best, right? Fingers crossed, people. All right, a little high. See, I did get a little high on there. I actually got a little high on that one too. So I have a spare. This one, I have just a little ding right there, and I'm going to fix that right now using my black journaling pen. So this here is just going to go like this. And then I'm going to close the G. There, that's it. That's all I needed to do to fix that. All right, so let's put this away. Wipe that one off. I think I'm gonna have to make a new stencil because that black marker that got misstamped is throwing me off. And if it's throwing me off, it will probably throw my class off. And we don't want that. Okay, so I've got this. I can still use this, and I certainly will. In fact, well, I'll just throw it in my bin because somebody else will have that for tomorrow. Let me also add a dot to my eye here. There. That looks good. All right, let's bring the card back in. Let me check my fingers, make sure I don't have anything. And so for the coloring, I stamped and die cut, and then I just used light Daffodil Delight, and I kind of colored the whole thing, and then I came in on the shadows with the dark, and the same with the Old Olive. Cover the whole thing with the light, and then just hit a few of the lines with the dark. Makes it look like you're a pro. All right, let's put some dimensionals on here, and we are just about done. I'm going to cut 1 in half here. Oops, I already have 1 in half to just put right here. So this class has got a little bit of die cutting for everybody to do, but lots of good tips and tricks too. So nobody minds when you get tips and tricks with it, right? Okay, see how that having that little bit of blue back there just kind of helps it. And this is the inside. So here's my wishing. That's going to go here. And then my word is going to go right on the corner. So let's see if I can stamp that straight. All right, I need this one for the inside. And here's my word. So these are the markers I use to color. Just 2 colors, and then use the light and the dark for your shading. Makes it really easy. Okay, so this comes in the wishing, the Delightful Wishes stamp set, which is great. Little piece of fuzz on my, there, got it, on my stamping pad. All right. So I'm going to say you all the best. Now I'll tell you that when you have these skinny stamps, it's really easy to push down harder on one side than the other. So you really got to concentrate on just holding it with both hands, come straight down, and don't try to push on the top. Just apply the pressure evenly as you're holding it. That is almost perfect. Almost perfect. See, this one, I got a little heavier on the U than the best. So it's wishing you all the best. Wake up, everybody. Come on. And then I'm going to get my, let's see here. I need a little strip of dimensionals. You guys are still with me, aren't you? You're being very quiet out there. And I'm going to just snip some little pieces here to put on my words, my letters here. Mom, I bet you like this card too because of the pretty yellow flowers. Okay, and then we've got a couple pieces here. And right here. There. So just a little bit of bits and bobs right there. There is one more little one I can put right there. Okay, there we go. And we're going to just put it right about here. I think that had, does that have a little piece that can pop out? No. Okay, just checking. Mom, did you see what Anne wrote? She said it looks like a Jean card. Isn't that nice? There. So now I didn't hide that smudge all the way, but I hid it enough that you don't really notice it. Then to finish off the card, did I stamp the inside? I gotta stamp the inside. Where's my ink pad? Where's my ink pad? Oops. See, in my rush, see what I just did? I got a whole bunch of ink where I don't need it. So don't rush. There. All right, I'm done with my ink. And with my scissors, let me put my tape on the inside. And you only need to put like half an inch of tape in all the four corners. That's all you need. And he thinks I stamped that a little crooked, but it's okay. All right, so now we've got these pretty sparkle gems. These are called low profile sparkle dots. I think this was one of the first low profile ones that they came out with, and I'm so happy they did because they're so mailing friendly. No poking through your envelope. No reason for the mailman to say, that's gonna cost you extra. And then I am just gonna throw some Wink Estella on there. My yellow flowers and a little bit of the leaves, and that card is done. I'm going to put this away, clean up, and I will come back and show you the cards we made again. All right, so okay, so here's the card we just made. See with that Wink Estella, it's so pretty and the little sparkles. And our sailing, happy birthday. I love that one. And fun in the sun makes me want to go jump in the pool, which I have been doing pretty much every day. So let me come back and say goodbye to all of you. Let's see here. Whoops. That's not what I wanted. There we go. So if you are coming to my class, please let me know by tomorrow afternoon so that I can have enough prepared for everybody. And then also, if anyone places an order between tonight and Saturday night of $40 or more from my online kathyschmitt.stampinup.net store, and you order $40 or more, I'm going to send you these 3 cards already made. And if you order at my class $40 or more, you get to come to the card class for free. So that's just a little thank you for supporting my small business. So I hope you guys enjoyed the cards tonight, and I will see you on Sunday at 10 a.m. for scrapbooking, and I'll see you next week for more cards. So thanks a lot for coming on, everybody. Let me just check the comments one last time. Oh, I know, Anne, I wish you could come to the class too. Oh, Susie, thank you. She said the cards are all gorgeous. Cindy said, I love all the cards tonight. Stephanie said, great cards. Yay! And Christina Fullen said, I love the masculine card, and I need more masculine cards and such. So that's great. See, I think it's a perfect guy card. So thank you all very much, and we'll see you again soon. Bye-bye now.